Hi guys, it's Shiels down here with Dan Whittaker, and this is lesson number 5, but the 4th one we've actually recorded. Dan is helping me with my game and my kind of journey to quest for the Open, ready for next year. And this is the first session we've had for about 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And it was very much needed. So I've kind of been going a little bit off track. My swing's not been feeling quite as good. I've started to see old habits creep in. So today we've really got back to basics of what we've been trying to work on, but we've enhanced it a hell of a lot more than what I expected to do today. And I'm excited to show you the differences. So this title of this video is Quest for a Fade, because what I've still been experiencing is too much shots curving to the left. I've been desperately trying to hit as many kind of fade feeling swings and changes, but it's not quite been clicking in until now. Dan, talk us through it. What did we discover today? What did we notice?
Okay, so we noticed that during the first move on the left-hand side, obviously that's the earlier start of the lesson swing, we noticed that you're starting to take the club a little bit, kind of underplaying a little bit low to the club
Can you just
head.
highlight that there, Dan?
Yeah, certainly. So we got.
And this is again why it's so important to have that fresh pair of eyes on it. The question I get asked a lot, you're a golf pro, why are you going having lessons with another golf pro? Sometimes you're just a bit biased to your own swing. So having a fresh pair of eyes really does help.
We can see where the club head is there relative to the yellow line of the forearm.
Yes.
It's kind of a little bit too low down there. And then what we were finding was that because the club head was getting behind you, as we start to take that towards the top, we're getting a little bit long and then getting a little bit steep. So it was going under and then working up.
So if you've seen previous lessons, I'll link them up in the eye here in the corner. We very much worked on the top of that backswing, and visually it still looks great compared to where it was the original lesson. But the journey to get there has changed quite a bit.
Definitely.
So what are the changes today?
So what we did is obviously looking at that first move, it was going a little bit too low down. So we have looked at trying to set the club up earlier. So getting the feeling that the left wrist is setting the club up a lot steeper.
Now that for me felt, when I was actually stood on the mat and Danny's kind of here in this right hand corner, I honestly felt like I was setting the club to point towards Dan. And it was only when you see it back on the video, you can see that big difference. You can see the club going up through my right forearm now, setting a lot better. And then at the top of the swing, everything became a lot tighter again. It wasn't as long, was it? Nowhere
near as long. So right elbow's lower, left arm was matching the shoulders, club was in a really good position. And we recorded a few of trying to get the idea of the set. So this was kind of one a little bit during the session that we just saved, and we can see that that club felt really upright.
Oh, to me that club felt like it was going straight back, vertically up. It felt like I was hinging the club vertically straight up. And it's only when you see it and see the numbers and everything else, and just like I say, for me having that second opinion matched my feeling with the reality once I got the feeling for it.
You know, and you can see that even though it was an earlier set, at the top it's so much lower down than obviously the one at the start.
Yeah. So just carry on with the one at the start there, Dan. What was happening then during the downswing?
So what was happening was obviously this left knee was also kicking in a little bit too much. So we'll show you that. In fact, let's show that from the front
view. Yeah, show that now. That'd be good.
Okay, so we could see that at the start. So let's just get this front view in. So there we are. So we could see here that this left knee was definitely kicking in too much. So we could see it start to collapse a little at this point now. So the angle in this area here, just showing that it's coming in too far in this direction. So what was happening because of that, the upper back was tending to lift upwards on the direction of the arrow here. That's what was making the arms get a little bit high at that top of the backswing.
Yeah, and something again, I've been a little bit kind of blind to. Not been noticing that quite as much. Dan kind of explained the situation of that when that knee does come in, what it does to the top of the backswing, and it came much more apparent again of how important that left knee was.
What else it was doing was then controlling that downswing, wasn't it? You know,
Big time.
So having the feeling now of, as you can see here, that feeling for you was that the knee was, it felt like it was almost going out that way towards the target, didn't it?
My left knee at the top of the swing felt like it was outside of my left foot. And you can see there visually how much stronger the top of the golf swing looks there. It looks so much better. One thing that I did have to change was just the width of stance. I think I was just getting a little bit narrow before, so I went back to having a slightly wider base to allow me to support my leg system more. But you can definitely see a note. It looks so much stronger on that right-hand image.
You can see here as well, you see the upper back's actually still away from this line.
Yeah.
So too is the knee.
Yeah.
You know, we've got more width. This is a really good position here. I really like the straight line on the right-hand side because it's going to allow that downswing to perform so much better. So what we saw is when the knee had come in too far on the left-hand side, first thing that happened was the pelvis was going, but the knee hasn't moved anywhere.
No.
Whereas now we could get the knee to start down first and get you a lot more over that left side coming through the golf ball.
God, how much better does that look?
It's way better, so much more on top of it.
Ridiculous. Now, just giving you my theory behind that, honestly, when I got to the top of the swing, my body hurt. I felt pains in places that I'd not experienced before. My lower right back was starting to ache a little bit. My legs felt like they were aching. When I say aching, it's just they were being used.
In a completely different way.
Normally what I'm not doing. It felt to me at the very top of the swing once I actually got there, which felt super short again, even though it's actually visibly not that short, much shorter. It felt to me like I wasn't potentially going to create as much power at that very moment in time. It was only when I started to kick that left knee out coming down, I was like, hold on, there's a whole new gear here that I'd never experienced before. We saw just today about a gain of 7 yards on carry distance just today. Now that's not what we're after trying to do. It wasn't a fact that. It just shows that actually me being a little bit more compact in my swing and then trusting that action, I was generating more speed. My strikes felt unreal. Let me just show you some path numbers from before and after. Now, typically my path numbers were looking somewhat okay. Is that recording the screen there? That's a typical shot that I've been experiencing on the golf course. A little push, a little right shot. That was a 3-degree inside path, a face that was 1.5 degrees open to target, but 1.7 degrees left of path. So it was kind of almost drawing, but not quite enough. What I was finding with that is when that path number got even greater than that, it was really starting to turn to left. And if you'd seen a recent skills challenge video I did back at Prairie, a lot of my misses were in that left portion of the green. And when I see these numbers again, it explains why. Yeah,
what was really interesting is we haven't tried to increase speed here, but we've seen that club head speed was at 86.4 there. But if we have a look towards the end of the lesson, we've got one at 88.2, another one at 88.5, and these are true cuts. These are out to in, and we're seeing 2 to nearly 3 miles an hour more club head speed.
Did you hear that? True cuts, genuine fades. We'll show you in the downswing why that is in a moment, but we were actually starting to see path numbers that were going way further left. Club head speed, like I say, I honestly felt, and I said this to Dan at the top of the swing, I felt like Rory McIlroy. I felt like when I got to the top of the swing, I could hit it outrageously hard and it not flip to the left and not overdraw. A feeling I have never experienced ever. And there was even one point when I hit one of the fades and I went, that felt weird. What was that feeling?
Well, that's the fade feeling.
That's an actual fade. Oh my God.
So that's what it feels like.
That's what, God, all those years I thought I'd hit a fade. No, it was genuine fades. Let's pull up the swing back again there, Dan, and just show the down the line view of how, do you want to show any more of that?
Well, just one thing for people to see is that when the left knee was coming in so much in this backswing, it meant it was really hard to get the shoulder to clear away. Whereas now with a more stable knee from the front view, what we'd see is that can go out, meaning that the shoulder has got the ability to move in this direction. So that can open.
If you remember a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't quite get that in my head. And probably just a bit too much to ask when that knee wasn't as stable as it is now.
Most definitely.
So now when my left knee went, love that.
So much more on top of the golf ball there as well.
Love that. I mean, that is just class.
Versus a bit more under. backed out.
It's
Looking.
very flippy, that one left. I was really flipping. These were all done with 7-irons. I was hitting 7-irons today. Again, I just want to get the core of what I'm trying to do. Somewhat comfortable with my driver, even though I'm drawing it a little bit too much. I'm fairly comfortable. It's my iron play that's just been a bit off at the moment. Let's have a look at down the line from beginning of the lesson to end of lesson there.
So beginning lesson, left-hand side. Obviously, we could see that it was getting a bit steep here. And then we could see getting a bit turny, a little bit dropped under.
Just go back a couple of slides there so it's underneath the right forearm there, Dan, there. So just highlight that bit there, Dan, with the club, if you don't mind, just so it's easy to see. And you can see the club head underneath my right forearm there. So behind me, always going to have to move from in to out to make connection.
And then it dropped further under from there, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And then from this point now, I'm underplaying and I got very active again. I got the face working too hard and I could feel that in my swing. Let's have a look at new. Oh my goodness.
So that's the same frame. And now we can see there's the golf club, there's the golf shaft, right through the middle of the forearm. And you can see that the arm is definitely a little bit further out this way relative to the body.
I'm keeping my height better as well there.
Definitely.
So many more positives to that swing on the right. It felt to me like once I started the downswing with that left knee, the club was out in front of me more, but it wasn't a worrying feeling. I just felt like once that club got out in front, I could just smack it.
Yeah. You kept saying, feels like there's loads more power here.
I honestly felt like I could just unleash it. And again, that wasn't what we were trying to go for today. It wasn't about increasing distance or speed, whatever that may be. But that's my sensation. As soon as I got to the top of the swing and I started to come down, I was like, hold on, what's this?
Yeah.
Where's this gear come from?
It was a different sound altogether, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And part of that, I'm thinking as well, is just due to that wrist set, because it's allowing you to hold the angles a little bit more coming in, isn't it?
Yeah, way more. And then just next couple of slides on that right-hand image there, Dan. Just watch how the club came down. Oh,
so there it's parallel to the feet. And from there, it's way more on top. Club face, like on top of the golf ball. And then way more left. And look how much more passive the club face is.
Yeah. Love that.
Weight all going to the heel.
Whistling. I have to keep whistling. I just think that's like, so much like, I do that when I'm coaching. I see like a great, I'm like, yeah, so much more.
You just see the Q-bird walk down the road.
No.
You're married anyway.
It's your hair, Dan. That's what.
Oh, give it up.
It just get, you know, when I get that glimpse out the corner of my eye, I just can't help it. There's loads of comments. Comment below if you like Dan's hair. Yeah, where before out and in and then flipping. Look at my right hand working ridiculously hard. Yeah.
What's really interesting, if we go, I'm just going to do it with a couple of spots here. There's the butt of the club, and look how it's actually going more out this way to the right of the target.
Yeah.
So that's the same point. There's impact. It's gone left.
Yeah.
Left.
Class.
Completely different move.
Guys, I can hit a fade. I can actually hit, you heard it here. It's a genuine fade. Now, what I need to do is put some real graft in. I've not been doing the Quest for the Open vlogs as much on a Saturday night because, if I'm honest, I've been playing too much and not practicing enough. And otherwise, it just becomes pretty golf pictures, me playing on the golf course, but no real production. So I'm going to have a rethink about the Quest for the Open vlog on a Saturday that I release and make it a real, very, very tailored to actually my improvement and the Quest for the Open improvement, which it kind of got a little bit lost along that lines. We're going to got some skills and drills to do because you were saying that you might send some over to me. I need some focus in my practice slightly more. That's helped that session today because I think 4 weeks without having a lesson, I've become a little bit, I'm not blind to it again. Oh, can you just show my finish on that right hand side just very quickly? This way I felt like more of McIlroy. Stop whistling. I just love that finish position. I don't think it looks awesome. Yeah. I'm like holding it off there so much.
Big time.
What was I going to say with that? Some practice ideas, some skills challenges. I'll do the skills challenge again next week once I've bed that in.
Okay, perfect.
I'll see if I can beat that previous score.
And I'm going to give you some short game tests to be able to do. So then obviously then over the winter we can then tailor, make a program for that, have a look at that and from a technical standpoint.
Yeah, be perfect that. So that's the thing, like, just with limited time, you need to be effective with your time. And sometimes if I go and practice, think about practicing, I end up not being productive with it. And that's what I need to become a bit more of. Dan, thanks for your time again. You're a star.
Pleasure.
Guys, Dan is now over 11,000 subscribers on YouTube. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's catching me up. Guys, go and help him catch up a bit more by going subscribing to his channel. The link here in the corner. We did a series of videos as well recently up at Prairie. If you've not seen any of those, check them out. There's still a few more to come as well. Dan Whittaker's available here for coaching if you can get in. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. Going to keep improving, going to keep getting better.
Couple of weeks' time, another lesson.
Sounds good. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.